You may shoot me with your words. You may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness. But still, like life, I'll rise.
I refuse to accept the view that mankind is so tragically bound to the starless.
And now put your hands together for the host of Black Newsbeat, Dr. Kamika Campbell.
Right, thank you. I feel like you guys are like, well, you know, she's here. So give you one more time.
It's a small crowd. We're doing our best we can.
Yeah, let's try it again.
You want to try it again?
Yeah. I feel like they got a little more to give.
All right.
Just a tiny bit.
Put your hands together for the host of Black Newsbeat, Dr. Kamika Campbell.
I told you. Welcome to the Black News Beat. We are here, ladies and gentlemen, last Wednesday of the month. That means we are headed into September shortly, which is crazy to me. Do you know why? Because I have not had air conditioning in my house for a month. And it has been the hottest summer of my life. And I am tired. And so fall could not come fast enough. So we're headed into September. I'm so excited about it. What is your favorite? Winter. Elliot? Is it summer? No. Is it spring?
Yes.
Ooh, we like spring. And what about fall?
Hoodie weather.
Fall is the best weather. I don't care what you guys have to say about it. Your other seasons cannot compare. But I'm so glad I'm here with you guys tonight. We have a great show for you tonight. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. We already have some folks popping in online, and we're so excited about it. Today is Wednesday, August the 26th. And if you check your national calendar today, you know I like to talk about the national days today. Today is Women's Equality Day. Commemorating the certification of women's voting rights. This is a great day because, as we know, voting was rolled out in stages here in the United States of America. Let's just put it like that. And women's suffrage marks a time when some women can vote, not all. And so we are celebrating all of those milestones of the rollout, we're going to call it the rollout of voting for sanitization purposes this evening. And if you haven't read the book 1619 or listened to the book on Audible, you'll understand why I'm saying roll out of voting rights in this country, because the Voting Rights Act of even expanded voting even more for Black people and brown people to make sure that, you know, we weren't discriminated against at the polls. So 1619 Project, today is the first one I want to talk about is National Women's Equality Day, commemorating the certification of women's voting rights. It's very important that we keep talking about the history and also know that not all women could vote on that day, but some could. Next, and for our four-legged family members, it is also National Dog Day. Yeah, so I have two dogs. You see them there, they're very cute, okay? But let's show how they treat me on a daily, even though I give them all of their food and all their wants and play with them and give them everything they've ever wanted in life and treat them like real human kids. Let's see how they treat me on National Dog Day. So, happy National Dog Day to Langston and Huey. Those are my two buds. We actually just completed a very long car ride, and Huey, the eye patch, he hates cars. So shout out to Huey on National Dog Day. He made it home in one piece. Good boy. Such a cute boy. And tonight on the broadcast, we are breaking down City Council's official YPOC proclamation to celebrate our 10-year anniversary. Woo-hoo! We are going to talk about some urgent pedestrian safety demands that also happened in City Council last night. And we're going to analyze Governor Shapiro's new data center regulations, because that was interesting. So the governor made a executive order about data centers. We'll talk about what that means. And last but not least, I want to do a quick personal shout out to City and State. I don't know if you guys saw, but they did name me one of their 40 in their 40s. Isn't that cool? Yes. And being recognized alongside so many state leaders who are putting in the real work it's not just an honor, but it feels like, I don't know, it feels like a big girl story, right? Like, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm adulting, I'm getting awards for doing the things I love, along with my friends who are also doing things they love. So I thought that was really great. But the real reward is always seeing our impact in our community every single day. So tonight we have some great guests for you. We are joined here by changing the conversation together with Adam B. and Tamish K. Very excited about that. We also had changed the conversation together at our town hall with Affordable PA last Thursday, and they did an excellent job. And we also have Jazmin Slaughter of the Jazz Management and all around, community woman. She's here tonight as well. So we're very excited. All right, so let's see what's going on. Give us a second. Let's sweep these streets and see what's going on around the town and around the country. So we are still celebrating YPOC's 10th anniversary. We talked about last month. We talked about celebrating YPOC at Juneteenth, turning 10 years old. And it is with so much love and respect and honor and just gratitude that tonight I would like to tell you that at City Council last night, we were given a proclamation and allowed to present on YPOC. Shout out to Harrisburg City Council for that. That was amazing. Because, here in the 717, we do move with purpose and power. We always have. And Young Professionals of Color, Greater Harrisburg, marking 10 years as a personal testimony. And as Danielle Bowers, who is our City Council President, as Madam President, read off all that YPOC had done, I just sat in awe of all we've been able to accomplish. So we're going to roll that clip right now. Lawrence, show us what happened on City Council.
So thank you for your presentation. We do have a proclamation, so if you wouldn't mind indulging me just for a few minutes. The City of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Office of City Council, and Office of City Clerk. Proclamation. Whereas the City of Harrisburg applauds the young professionals of color, Greater Harrisburg, for their dedicated commitment to enriching the lives of diverse employees across the capital region through expanding their social circles, network, or support of local diverse community events. And whereas the Young Professionals of Color Greater Harrisburg was organized in July of 2016 by Basier Vincent, President and Founder, Dr. Kamika Campbell, Vice President and Founder, Juneteenth HBG Executive Co-Chair, and Alicia Washington, Founder. And whereas the Young Professionals of Color Greater Harrisburg carries out their mission to create community for the Black and Brown professional collective in the Greater Harrisburg area and to empower professionals of color to thrive within the community. And whereas the Young Professionals of Color Greater Harrisburg has successfully implemented the Adopt a Classroom campaign since 2018 to intentionally support local classrooms and small businesses in Harrisburg through event hosting. Over 50 classrooms have been adopted. And whereas the Young Professionals of Color Greater Harrisburg hosts various programs, including Juneteenth HBG Collective in 2023, 17 community leaders came together to organize the largest celebratory and educational event for Juneteenth that the region has ever seen. The Juneteenth HBG has grown into a week-long celebration. Who's Running for Office is a coordinated effort of community organizations to get out the vote for primary and general elections. The Black News Beat, hosted in collaboration with Open Stage, explores the life and community of Harrisburg and its expressions in the Black and Brown community. And whereas the Young Professionals of Color Greater Harrisburg hosts outdoor walks and hikes, a summer getaway retreat, watch parties for sports and politics, celebrates Hispanic Heritage Month and Black in the Burg or Black History Month celebration, a monthly happy hour held every last Thursday, Topics Tuesday, and an annual Holiday Liddy holiday party. And now, therefore, be it hereby proclaimed that Harrisburg City Council commends the Young Professionals of Color Greater Harrisburg for their vision. We look forward to a city and region where young professionals of color are welcomed as positive, contributing members of society, where their talents can be cultivated, and where their civic and social engagement is invited and honored as we transform our neighborhoods, municipalities, and counties over the next decade. And be it further proclaimed that Harrisburg City Council wishes to extend best wishes to the Young Professionals of Color Greater Harrisburg for a successful 10th anniversary year. Signed and attested in the city of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Jared Truesdale, City Clerk, Danielle L. Hill, Harrisburg City Council. If you wouldn't mind, we love a photo, so if you wouldn't mind joining us.
I thought that was very special. And it's so, I'm teasing real hard because, it's funny when you hear someone else talk about all the work that you have literally been building over a decade. It feels surreal. So I'm just really excited to be able to see that on our city, one of our premier city stages, and that is our city council meeting. And in the audience today, we have Dr. Elliot Faust. Hello, Dr. Elliot. He is the leader of our outdoor group who does all the fun walks and canoe trips. We have a trip coming up that we're going on together soon, this Sunday. Friday, just kidding. And I'll be there. I won't be late. And Dr. Elliott and our outgoing Chief Administrative Officer Elise presented on YPOC. Thank you, Elliott, for reading those words from Basir at City Council. If you want to check out the whole video, it's right at the top of the last City Council video. I'll put it in the chat so you guys can see it. But it was a beautiful, beautiful time, and I just sat there. I couldn't be there, so it warmed my heart to know that we had other YPOC members that were willing to step in and say a few words on behalf of YPOC to celebrate our 10th anniversary. It was fabulous. So thank you very much. That was amazing. So we're gonna fly through the rest of this because that was the first one. We also at City Council, something that we haven't got to talk about since the last show was resting in peace to Dr. Holly Engelman. And I don't know if you guys heard about this story, but on August the 8th, Dr. Engelman was struck and killed crossing Front Street at Front and Vaughn. And this is something that between Front, Second, and Third, residents have been complaining all up and down Front, Second, and Third, how fast cars are going, how much they need safety in those points. And one of the things that happened last night at City Council is that we had over 15 people speak on Dr. Engelman's behalf. Her husband spoke, and it was powerful because they weren't just mourning, and they clearly were in mourning, but they knew the kind of person Holly was, and how much she loved Harrisburg, and how much she believed in this city. And they took that as a mandate to go before City Council and also to petition PennDOT to make that road safer. 2 lanes, changing the speed limit, and making sure that pedestrians are protected there. And it should happen all up and down Front Street. But if it happens at Front and Vaughn, there were also folks who testified last night that they were also struck at that same intersection. So it's time. It's time. We know City of Harrisburg can't do it alone. Susquehanna Township is on board to present a joint proposal to make sure that Front and Vaughn is safe for our residents, especially the residents who love, like Holly did, walking on the river and enjoying the beauty that Harrisburg has to offer, right? So please keep that whole community in your prayers, particularly her husband and her children. and her relatives. And let's petition our city and state together to make sure that Front and Vaughn is made safe for all pedestrians. And what can we do about all of Front Street and Second Street and Third Street? We've heard complaints all across the city, actually, Cameron and various points on Cameron Street. So are there hot spots in your neighborhood and where you are that these things are happening? Let me know, and let's talk about those as well. And at the state level, Governor Shapiro signed Executive Order 2026-05, establishing the Governor's Responsible Infrastructure Development, or GRID, standards for commercial data centers in Pennsylvania. As Spotlight PA reported, data centers consume massive amounts of what? Energy and water. And we all know about it, energy and water. That's all we've been talking about for months at this point. And we see that there are data centers coming in different parts of Pennsylvania and around the country that are polluting water and using enormous amounts of energy and passing those costs off onto the residents of those municipalities where they are. So a lot of this new executive order, some folks love it, some folks don't love it so much. They're saying we don't want any platitudes around data centers, we just want them banned from the state. Other folks are saying data centers could be good for us, let's not ban them for the state, let's heavily regulate them, and let's particularly make sure that residents' water bills and electric bills aren't going up. Those are the things that folks are worried about. So this new executive order removes automatic fast-tracking permitting, which is something the governor did support before. It requires developers to meet clean energy and grid reliability benchmarks, mandates local community benefit agreements, and restricts state-level non-disclosure agreements, which they had before. And as artificial intelligence and tech infrastructure expands, accountability and environmental transparency have to be non-negotiable in our communities. Why? Because if we don't have transparency, if they're allowed to do NDAs, then anything can be pulled over consumers' eyes. And now at the national level, y'all know I talk a lot about the daydream on the page. He remains weird and terrifying. But there's one story that's still on our minds this week at that level, at the national level. So we've got state, we got local. The White House just declared a sweeping national emergency over America's bulk power electrical grid, invoking emergency economic powers over foreign source electric infrastructure. Interesting. We're talking about data center grids across the country. We're talking about electricity availability, and now this is happening. We also know Flint went without water for how long? Or so, I'm sorry, not Flint. Well, Flint also. But this last 2 weeks, Gary, Indiana went without power for over 2 weeks. So this is an interesting time right now. And there are other cities across the country who are experiencing the same thing. So when federal moves start targeting the power grid, while energy demands are also skyrocketing across the country, it hits every single household right in the meter. Okay, it certainly does. So let's keep an eye on that. And also, I'm going to be doing a data center event coming up in September because that's something the community is talking about with affordability. So let's keep on for that. Let's keep our minds ready for that as well. And to move on to a little bit of a lighter subject, in our Media and Melanin Spotlight, we have 3 standout genres. Y'all know I like Black people on film, on TV. I love it. And the first one is a psychological horror in the upcoming thriller Buddy. It already sounds scary because anytime you start calling a doll Buddy and it's in a movie, something bad is going to happen. starring Keegan-Michael Key, we know Keegan-Michael Key from Key and Peele, and Kristen Milioti, and it takes a nostalgic children's television tropes and twists them into a chilling, unsettling story. I don't like it. It reminds me of the one with Keke Palmer. What's the movie where that? Nope. Exactly what I want to say to this movie. Nope. Where the dancing monkey got real mad and ate everybody's face. Very bad. I don't want to do it. That's for y'all, because I don't do horror, because I got to sleep at night. All right. And for comedy and sisterhood, Spa Weekend, starring Michelle Buteau and Leslie Mann, brings honest laughs about burnout, restorative gateways, and that's coming out this week, actually, and lifelong friendships on one of these platforms. Don't quote me, just go look it up, because I don't want to even say their names anymore. Then on the drama side, dun, 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 By any means necessary, or by any means, excuse me, I put the necessary in, but the movie is By Any Means, stars Yaha Abdul-Mateen II as an FBI agent navigating 1960 Mississippi alongside Mark Wahlberg. It sounds like a buddy cop comedy a little bit, and I don't like that, but I love Yaya, so we're gonna go in, we're gonna see it. I saw the trailer the other day, and I was like, okay, maybe. Confronting the boundaries of justice and civil rights history. Support our Black creators, y'all, and storytellers across all platforms. Woo! Well, that's the first part. We will be right back. We're taking a commercial break and be right back with our guests and upcoming YPOC events. Woo!
I built my coffee shop from the ground up. Every penny counts. So these tariffs are creating chaos. Coffee beans are imported. I can't afford to pay the tariffs out of pocket. These tariffs have the potential to destroy my business. But Congressman Scott Perry supported the tariffs. They're another tax driving up costs on small businesses like mine to give tax cuts to big corporations and billionaires. Scott Perry should be looking out for small businesses instead of big corporations. I wish Scott Perry was looking out for us.
My name is DeJuan Dixon. I'm known as Juan99, they call me, and I am the founder and CEO of 99 Characters Entertainment. As you know, with the internet TV, Roku has expanded up to 50 million subscribers at the moment, and that's where we give our channel for Try 99 TV for our viewers and for our platform and talents. We host mashups to roasts to puppet shows, community events. We pretty much do everything from touring to local events. We really have a vast majority of different shows. Our content creation group is our collaborative network where we come together as a barter system, and we use different companies partnering together, and we use that avenue to give each other more for our dreams and our goals.
Yes. Welcome back. We are just talking events really quickly. We always have a couple of events we want you to know about. You know, I am lucky enough to do this show, and I'm lucky enough to have people support it. But also, I always want to be supporting the community. So we have a ton of events coming up, and we want you to be a part of them. So first of all, support YPOC. We're here at Capital City Music Hall. I know we talked about the show being in partnership with Open Stage earlier, but we also are doing shows once a month at Capital City Music Hall. So shout out to them for hosting us. We love them.
Come out and see us.
Yep. And then a couple of past events. Shout out to Bree, Dow, and the entire team at Fringe for a very successful Fringe. We didn't get to talk about that. Or maybe we did. I don't know. I'm going to say it again. And we just had our first meeting for the brand new 717 Arts Community Center. Is that right? Is that the whole name?
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. So come check them out at 25 South 3rd Street, because I'm definitely going to give them the wrong address. And check out the Community Arts Center when it comes online, and the hours will be posted. But we had a wonderful first meeting and all the things we want to do in there. And you might see, a show or two there as well, because it's a beautiful space. And we have YPOC Happy Hour coming up on Thursday. We are going to be at Madame Rochelle's Apothecary. Ooh. If you haven't been on there yet. Have you been there? Madame Rochelle's? It is so nice. Hi, Abraham. It was so nice. It's so cute in there. It's like this green motif. It's old school. The staff dresses up in like really cute stuff with their soft open. They had a lot of like really pretty pinstripes and flowers type thing. Very cute.
What's that tequila Bloody Mary?
Listen, don't talk about that too much. But the Bloody Maria is my favorite drink there. It has pickled green beans and okra, and I love the okra and the olive. Very delicious. Y'all should go check. Come hang out with us on Thursday, tomorrow. That's gonna be great. We have Topics Tuesday every Tuesday. Shout out to both of our hosts. We have two hosts here, both Ibrahim and Dr. Faust, both host for us for Topics Tuesday every single Tuesday at Culture and Commerce. Shout out to Elise for always hosting us at Culture and Commerce. And if anybody tells you there's nothing going on in Harrisburg, by the way, did y'all know that Madame Rochelle's Apothecary was an old taco spot, the old Taco Amigos?
Oh, yeah.
It don't even look like a taco spot no more. It's crazy. It's amazing. And I also want to personally add that yours truly, and the Black News Beat, shout out to Yanni, who travels with me when I do things like this, will be at the Congressional Black Caucus's annual legislative conference for the 55th annual legislative conference this September from the 15th to the 20th. So we're really excited about that. We had a really nice time last year, and I'll have some reels up on the page so you can see those. And then definitely last but not least, shout out to Affordable PA and me and all of you who helped as well pull off an amazing SOS campaign where we said to Scott Perry, stop putting billionaires over families and throw us a lifeline. Let me see if we test the crowd. Scott Perry.
Oh,
that was good. Thank you. There were people there who knew the answer. Scott Perry.
Throw us a lifeline.
The answer is throw us a lifeline. We'll try it. Scott Perry.
Throw us a lifeline.
Yeah. And stop. And boo. And stop. And what was funny was at our town hall, people were like, he's not going to throw us a lifeline. Get him out of here. Like, they were big mad. And I like that. I like that about that crowd. That was great. All right. So we are at the, if you have any of the events coming up, let us know. We always want something to celebrate in our community. We had an amazing back-to-school event in Carlisle as well. We had the town hall. We had the community theater project, which was amazing. You can go on the page and see that for Affordable PA. So come hang out. Anytime I post an event, you're welcome. And let's get into these guests. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. And we're going to come back with changing the conversation together to tell us about their work. So see you in a sec. Woo!
Call 911. I'm just going to apply some pressure, okay?
When minutes matter, you have the power to save a life. Learn more at minutesmatter.upmc.com.
Oh, you can't hear me, huh? How about now? Oh, this your moment, ayy. Not right now. If you a hating nigga, please pipe down. Cause I don't know if it's we the beat, this bitch too loud. I was down bad, I ain't had no cash. Now these hoes mad cause the camera lights flash. I was down bad, I ain't had no cash. Now these hoes mad cause the camera lights flash. Bitch, I'm a boss. I only focus on comments and stress when I'm taking a loss. Round of applause. I see these hoes double back as soon as they see what it
calling all members of the Greater Harrisburg community. We need you. We would love for you to join the YPOC and become a
Welcome back to the Black News Beat. I am here, I am your host, Dr. Queen Campbell, and I'm here with two folks from Changing the Conversation Together. Please welcome Adam and Tamish.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course, it's my pleasure. So we've actually gotten to talk together a few times now. Nice. So I am getting up to speed every moment I can and just kind of following what you guys do now. So tell us, what is changing? First of all, introduce yourselves and then tell us what is changing the conversation together.
Yeah, well, thanks again for having us.
It's my pleasure.
Pleasure to be here. Fun to watch you in action.
Thanks.
My name's Adam, or Abinel Freedom, the director, founding director of Changing the Conversation Together.
You're a founding director. That's awesome.
And we have been around since 2018, we were launched in order to really help people who were outraged by the Trump administration.
Yeah.
Who didn't know, how can I use, if I can give you one day a month, one day a weekend, concretely to make an impact. And we use deep canvassing. We have a vision of building a national core of deep canvassers that can grow an electorate that embrace compassion, inclusion, forward-thinking, positive life for all.
Yes. And so we've been hearing a lot about deep canvassing over the years. So what is deep canvassing?
So deep canvassing means different things to different people.
Yes.
The work we do is really, it's a way to connect with people. You know what regular canvassing is,
I
right?
do.
Knock.
I've done a lot of regular canvassing.
Yeah, so conventional canvassing, there's a lot of different kinds of that too, but often it's the last couple of weeks, just getting to your supporters, 2-3 minute conversations at the door, if there's any training at all.
Right.
It's just really tightly messaged and connected to a candidate, or if it's a little bit more maybe around issues, right? Well, deep canvassing is different. It happens year-round. There is a lot of training, and the people we're trying to connect with are the ones that are the hardest to reach, right? There are easily tens of thousands of people in the lower income communities of color of Harrisburg alone. There are probably over 10, 20,000 people who are eligible to vote, but didn't vote in 2024.
Yeah.
People who are directly impacted by some of the worst, most egregious policies that Donald Trump and his local representative Scott Perry have been pushing on people.
100%.
The cuts to SNAP, the cuts to Medicaid, the cuts to Head Start. I mean, how heartless can you be? The dismantling of all of the advances we have made.
Healthcare subsidy.
Right? You were just talking at the beginning of the show, like how we have become, closer to democracy with like women's rights to vote and then black people's rights to vote. And, like,
that's right.
They're trying to dismantle that. It's
every single thing.
Right? And
even down to citizenship, which is crazy.
Right. So what we're trying to answer is a problem of there are these 90 million people who didn't vote in 2024. There are enough people in Philadelphia who are Democratic leaning, people who live in neighborhoods that are overwhelmingly Democratic in Philadelphia, who were eligible and did not vote to have won Pennsylvania for Kamala Harris.
We had over 30,000 votes in Philly that did not turn out.
Oh.
That's the threshold. Yeah. That was the early threshold.
Yeah, well, she lost the state by 120,000. Correct. Right? So, and the thing we're thinking about is, we really feel like the biggest threat to our generation. But my story, my father turns 100 years old this fall, next fall.
God bless him.
Yeah, he's in amazing shape. I hope I inherit that gene.
Amen.
He had to flee Nazi Germany as a little boy with his family. And that's why my wife and kids and I, we decided after 2024, we were not going to continue living in New York and working in Pennsylvania, remotely running this campaign. We moved to Philadelphia because we knew how bad it could get, and we know it can get worse. But we also know that there's something that can be done.
Yeah.
There is a world of people we can reach, but we can't reach them with issues by lecturing them, by telling them, wagging our fingers at them. We tell them stories, believe it or not, about people who we love. And we then ask them to tell us about people who they love. And if you'd asked me to tell you about this, if you told me about this 20 years ago, I would have told you were like 1969, Woodstock, Flower Power, but it is the most effective form of voter persuasion that has ever been measured. Tamish,
wow.
do you want to tell us?
I was going to say, you are not going to let Tamish get in here.
Thank you, Adam. My name's Tamish. I've been an organizer since 2018. I immigrated from South America, Guyana. Shout out to my Guyanese. I had an amazing conversation with a gentleman named Ed. Ed lives in Allison Hill, and I knocked on his door and I smelled curry. And I shared a story about how my sister Ramona, who's the first graduate of her household, and she left Philadelphia to continue her career in California. And I told Ed how I was so proud of her, and when she came back to take care of my father, it connected with Ed, and I was able to connect with Ed as being a Caribbean. he was a Trinidadian, and I was as a Guyanese, like they explained, you say chicken curry, you say curry chicken, and we bonded over that that saying. And Ed was able to open up and share the story about his uncle. His uncle was taken by ICE, and Ed also revealed as we were sharing our stories that he does not vote. He's not a registered voter. And I did belittle Ed. I said, Ed, thank you for sharing your story. Yeah. And Ed, I asked Ed, why don't you want to vote? Yeah. And Ed said, it's very confusing to me. Ed shared that that's the main reason why I haven't registered to vote or want to vote. And through our conversation, sharing my story and Ed sharing your story, Ed registered to vote for the first time. And
That's what we like to hear.
Exactly. And I explained to Ed why you don't have to vote for every single person on that ballot.
No, you don't.
You vote for that one person who is there for you.
Now, I do want you to vote and do your research, but just in case you didn't, you don't have to vote for everything. You vote for something.
Yeah, and very important. And I told Ed as an immigrant, I am afraid of, my family's afraid of me walking around without my passport.
Oh, yeah.
And
100%.
There's a debate at home till this day where my mom and my dad, by the way, I'm from South Philadelphia, and I moved to Harrisburg in and around August of last year. And my parents were very afraid because of what's going on in this country. Yeah. And
there's a lot going on in this country.
A lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And my mom and dad wants me to walk around my passport. I said, no, I don't want to walk around with a document that says I belong here. I belong here because I belong here. Exactly. Amen. Exactly.
Child, I walk around my passport. Even though, I absolutely walk around my passport because I'm terrified.
Yeah. And I earned the right as a human being to just walk around knowing that I belong in this community. Yeah. And so there's an anger afraid and anger from my parents because I don't want to do that.
Oh yeah.
And
felt.
Exactly. And what's going on, I think on 17th Street, an ICE agent just decided to shoot in public.
In the middle of the street.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shooting at residents in the middle of the day, in the middle of the street. Yeah. No. Anyway. But so the next question is, so we have these powerful stories, but it seems like, I'll tell you, I've done hundreds and maybe thousands of hours of canvassing in Dauphin County, Cumberland County, and York. Yeah. Probably the least in New York, the most in Dauphin, and about a middle or so in percentage in Cumberland. And I remember in 2024, I had a woman tell me that she wasn't going to vote because God got it. God's got it. I'm not going to worry about that because everything seems to go crazy, and I'm just not, I don't even want to bother myself with that. What do you say to a person like that?
Well, I think it depends. I guess, there are some people, there are some very clear denominations, I believe Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in voting, right? But there's a lot of different reasons why people don't vote. That is one thing one person says. Some people say. Yeah, for sure. And before I even try to respond to that, the whole point of deep canvassing is, before I can make an argument, we have to build some trust between each other.
That makes sense.
You have to understand that I am a human who has vulnerabilities, and I'm not going to judge you. Tanisha was not judgmental of Ed, right? I was talking to this woman.
But how come everybody's so judgmental? Why aren't we just being judgy all the time?
Yeah, we could.
Why are you guys focusing on being non-judgmental? What does that mean?
What we're trying to do is really invite people to reconsider their approach to politics. A lot of people have checked out, and they make excuses like God's got it, or they make excuses like they're all corrupt, what's the difference?
Yes.
I can't keep up with it, it's
That's
too dirty. I was talking to a woman the other day who's a nurse. Her name is Kiara. She's a mother of two.
One of my favorite people.
That's one of the favorite names?
One of my favorite people, Kiara. I love her. I know exactly what you're talking about. I do.
Yeah, she's a nurse. She's in a multiracial family. She's a wonderful lady. And she says, I don't want to talk about politics. I don't get into politics. I don't like to talk about politics. Yeah. And I said to her, look, I understand I don't want to talk about politics, but I can see you're a beautiful family, and I'm in it because I have a family. Yeah. And I want to tell you a story about someone I love. Her name's in New York. That's my wife. And I started telling the story about a time when my son, who was pretty severe dyslexia, like the school couldn't, we didn't know what was going on at the time, and I wanted, like the school was like, we can't teach him how to read, and I'm like, ready to blow up. I'm like, who's going to teach my kid how to read? It's not the schools. I was ready to, I'm not a violent person, you know, but I wanted to go to school now, right?
Listen, they're not teaching my child how to read. Right. That's a problem.
And so we always say to the scientists, look, these teachers, they're like doing the best they can with what they have. We need to figure out what is the best for Jerome, our son. And I love her for that. And
that's amazing.
She makes me a better person. And I tell this to Kira, I said, how about you? You have people you love? I said, sure, with my parents. She starts telling me a story about her dad who worked a giant warehouse all her life. Barely got to see him growing up. Now he's disabled. They're on a fixed income. He can't afford the $800 to $900 a month of medication you have to take for diabetes.
For diabetes?
Exactly. He doesn't take it. And you know what happens to people who don't take their diabetes medication?
$800 to $900 for diabetes? I thought we had stabilized diabetes medication.
I don't know the answer to that question. I'm telling you what she told me. Don't.
Oh my God!
All I know is that she says he gets sick a lot, and it's terrible.
That's terrifying.
And she was telling me about how she loves him, and I said to him, you know, you and I both know what it means to love someone. And then there's Donald Trump, and all the people who support him. You know, excuse me, not all those people. I don't want to say all people, but the movement he represents. It's like the worst that humanity has to offer. There are people who make mistakes. I don't want to forgive people, but like, it is the worst that we as humanity have to offer. It's the complete opposite of what you and I care about.
I mean, you see what's happening now. People are feeling the pinch, particularly this week with farmers, and they're like, I did not vote for this. Right. I voted to be racist, but I didn't vote to get my farm taken away.
Earlier, that was simple. People were that simple when they spoke, right? But
if only.
The beautiful thing with Kira was, at the end of the conversation, I said, I want to stop Trump. What about you? She's like, I want to stop Trump. He's terrible. So I said to Kira, are you the kind of person who votes all the time? I'm not. I miss some elections. Are you registered to vote, Kira? I'm not going to lie. I'm not registered to vote. Can I register you to vote right now? I'm registered to vote. Yeah. And she, like Ed, promised to vote and committed to vote. And we've had 2,100 conversations like that.
2,100 conversations. That's amazing.
And they're looking for more people to join us.
Listen, they asked me to canvass, and I can't. But you should. I have canvassed a lot. And canvassing does work. Even if you're not doing deep canvassing like this, which I think you should do. I think deep canvassing, the research is in. Yeah. The verdict is in and out and in about canvassing because it works. People want those meaningful conversations. When we talked about canvassing back in the day, not in the last maybe carry the 4 and a half election cycles, generals. Before that, what we are now calling deep canvassing looked a lot more like canvassing. So this shift now where we're calling deep canvassing, and we're calling regular canvassing just, I guess, regular canvassing. This split is what people don't like. It's what the electorate doesn't like. It's what neighbors don't like. They don't like somebody who just comes and leaves a piece of literature on their door. Right. They want somebody to talk to them. Right. So, say it again.
People want to feel heard.
People want to feel heard. They want people to ask about their issues. Exactly. They want people to say to them, your voice and what you're saying matters, right? Your story matters. The people who you love matters. So, coming to the close of our interview, appeal to some folks here and folks watching. We have about 200 people watching right now at this moment. What do you want to say to get folks out to talk to their neighbors and friends about how important it is to, one, stop Donald Trump, obviously. Like, are we still having questions about that? But two, to talk to your neighbors and friends about the issues that are important to them. So,
yeah, deep canvassing is a tool that you can use, not just at the door, but you can have meaningful conversations with people that's not at the door, your friends, your family, your community. And me moving from South Philadelphia to Harrisburg, people in Harrisburg, votes matter more than mine in Philadelphia.
Because this election is so.
I mean, you're in Pennsylvania. All the votes matter here. I keep trying to tell people move from other places to come here all the time. As an organizer who's been in this community for almost 20 years, people move here all the time. And say, well, your votes matter more in South Central Pennsylvania. Votes matter more in such. But when you're looking at the electorate, Pennsylvania's votes, we have almost 9 million voters in our state.
Yeah.
So that's insane. That's insane to me. It's a huge electorate. What matters? Yes, especially for people in Scotland. Yes, and I'm always wondering, how do we connect the struggle of somebody who's living in Frankfurt, Philadelphia, the neighborhood of Philadelphia, to somebody who's living in Alston? How do you connect those things together?
It's by having those meaningful conversations about what really matters to me, and we both have something in common. We both know what love is, and through that conversation, deep canvassing, we're not persuading someone to vote. We're within that conversation, they're making up their mind that they want to vote with deep conversation, and we're tapping into the emotional intellect of that voter that's in front of us, the potential voter.
Absolutely, absolutely right.
And we're offering training to people to come from all over the state, all over the country, really. And the reason we're here, we agree with you. We're going to be continuing to work throughout Pennsylvania as much as we can, but we try to do it in a targeted way, because one of the overarching principles and organizing principles for us this year is that the most important thing we can possibly be doing, the fight of our lifetime, is to stop this Donald Trump MAGA movement.
Amen.
And this year, the fight is to flip Congress. There are only so many districts that are actually competitive. I moved to Pennsylvania from New York because my vote did not really matter in that fight.
Now, New York that's true.
And
it matters, but
No, it matters. I'm never going to tell you it doesn't really matter. But in terms of your vote matters more, and that's why people are spending hundreds of millions of dollars for your vote.
They spent $60 million on the PA Supreme Court races in 2025.
Living in Baltimore, Chicago, New York City, I do not get where I've not gotten a single flyer or mailer about a presidential election. Right? I can't say that you said the same. You could say the same thing.
No, I have a collection. I have a picture of every single one, and I throw it away.
Your congressman, as you know, only won by 5,000.
That is the closest margin he has ever had.
And we know this week they took another action where the Supreme Court took another step in the direction. It's the latest trick to try to disenfranchise millions of Americans.
I hate it in this timeline. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We have 10 weeks. We have under 10 weeks. We have 70 days.
We have almost, because today is Wednesday, so we have less than. We have 69 days.
So we are asking people to come out and get trained. Yeah. We will come out and talk to you if you want to talk to you individually. It's a great, wonderful. People think talking to strangers.
When's your next event?
We're canvassing this weekend. We're going to be training.
Where at?
In Allison Hill.
Where?
Go to our website. We're happy to sign up. We have our social media.
You have a website?
Changing the Conversation Together, CTCtogether.org.
Give this to?
I give it to Lawrence and that. If you look up CTC, Changing the Conversation, Deep Canvassing Harrisburg, you'll find us.
And we're canvassing every weekend.
Every weekend. In Harrisburg, in Allison Hill, and Uptown, United Churches. We'd love to have you with us.
I am so honored that you guys are here tonight. The work that you are doing is super duper important. And will you come back after November and tell us how things went?
We'd be honored to.
All right.
All right.
That was great. Thank you guys so much for being here. I am rooting for the conversation. I'm rooting for that personal touch, that personal connection.
Thank you so much.
It is my pleasure.
All
We'll
right.
be right back with our next guest. See you in a sec. Thank you guys.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Mi nombre es Néstor Romero. Nuestro objetivo es de servicio a la comunidad que desea tener su casa propia. Contar con un hogar es muy importante para nosotros, por ello estoy preparándome cada día más para servirles con todo profesionalismo y responsabilidad para que ustedes y mis clientes se sientan satisfechos con mi trabajo. Junto con mi equipo estamos listos para prestarles todos nuestros servicios. Nuestro equipo puede orientarles y llenar sus expectativas de todas las personas interesadas en comprar y vender una casa. Cuentan con mis conexiones, inspectores, prestamistas, constructores y carpinteros quienes están dispuestos a hacer realidad sus sueños. Sí se puede.
Calling all members of the Greater Harrisburg community. We need you. We would love for you to join the YPOC and become a part of our leadership team. Would you like to join our board and get great perks and access in the community? Think about it and let us know. We'd love for you to contact us as soon as possible if you are ready. You can email us at info@ypoc-hbg.org.
La Tiendita is Harrisburg's premier store for everything Ecuador. In this store, you will find a variety of cultural and traditional products and ingredients like chocolate that you can't find anywhere else in Harrisburg. La Tiendita also ships packages directly to Ecuador. If you have any family or friend, you can also do a direct money wire transfer to their bank account in Ecuador. La Tiendita is open every morning at 8:30 a.m. and you can find them at 3126 Sycamore Street, right here in Harrisburg.
Welcome back to the Black News Beat. How you doing? I'm here with one of my favorite people. Jazmin Slaughter's in the house. Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, the class is popping.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just started getting into doing my makeup.
Really?
Yes.
The skin looks smooth as hell.
15 minutes today while I was in lecture for class. I'm like,
okay, y'all come in the camera. Let's see our makeup looks. Mine took 4.5 minutes in the back. Because you look great. Skin looking all smooth and fresh and nice. I love it. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. Still recovering from Juneteenth, honestly.
Yeah. Juneteenth is a heavy lift. If I could get us, let me just put it out to the atmosphere. If I can get everyone paid $10,000, that's what I want. Because each one of our chairs works enormously hard. Enormously hard. $10,000. So I was told that I have to do the actual amount. I want all of my chairs to get paid $10,000, including myself. I'll pay myself. I want us all to get paid $10,000, at least $1,000 a month for this work, this more than part-time work that we do for Juneteenth.
Yes.
So yes. Yeah. So I understand you didn't send me the video though, but I understand that you're here to tell me a story.
Yes, I'm here to tell a story, and the story is one of the reasons why it's so important for all of us to be civically engaged. As people, I have a 5-year-old daughter, and really being a parent, you realize how much the decisions that you make and how you engage with your community are the things that also affect, the next generation.
Absolutely.
And having a daughter, it's a direct effect on her life and her future. So I am currently a Steelton Boro resident, but I'm born and raised in Harrisburg.
Why you went over to Steelton? I mean, I like them. I'm just saying, it's so far.
It's real nice.
Honey, it's way better.
And so I had this was about a week or two ago. I went to Hershey Park. I was dropping off my nephew, and we were on 21st and Market, and there was a car that was coming out the wrong way from behind, if you're coming from Reservoir Park. And, we drive past, we're like, whoa, they're the wrong way. But when we were coming back...
They were going, so it was a one-way?
Yeah, so, when you're coming down Market, right past McDevitt, and you can, go in, it's like a yield.
Yes.
Yeah, they were in the yield lane coming out.
Oh!
Yes. They were stopped. So I'm I thought, they went the wrong way. We didn't look too fast, we was driving. But coming back, we saw that there was a person slumped over on the wheel. So I was like, oh my gosh, we have to help them.
But slumped over is scary.
It's very scary.
You're in the middle of the road, you look into somebody's car, and they're slumped over, which is crazy because we're all supposed to be upright, driving upright with our...
Yes.
Okay.
And I had just read an article, in the recency that was in my brain of someone had a stroke at the wheel, and, and someone had stopped to help them. And it made me think, oh my gosh, what if you see someone at the wheel? And that's just what my brain went to, was the news. That's why it's important to be informed, because sometimes you learn something, and it's I could, So when we drove past, it was curly hair. I thought it was a woman at first. And I was just so like, oh my gosh. And then we still had some of the kids in the car. My daughter was in the car, and my friend's daughter was in the car, and they're under 10 years old. So my boyfriend stayed in the car with the kids, and I had one out. I knocked on the window. They weren't responding, and I was like, I'm going to call 911.
It's terrifying.
And I called 911. I'm like, the car's in drive. Their foot's on the brake. The doors
and
are
they're
locked.
slumped over.
And they're slumped over. And I was terrified, but they were breathing as I like kept like looking around, letting them.
I just want to say, that is some very good muscle memory to be slumped over and slam your foot on the brake.
On the brake.
Okay.
Like I'm glad, because it could have been very different. So you know, the first police officer comes up and he parks right in front of the car. In my brain, you're right in front of the car, so that when the person wakes up, if they take their foot off the brake, if they drive, the police car is going to stop them. So then the ambulance is coming up, and the police officer is knocking on the window. He's knocking on the window. The person's not responding. The ambulance comes. You know, they get out. They bring the stretcher over, and then the second police officer comes to the passenger window, automatically. Yo, what the F is going on? Get up, tapping on the window, pulled out his gun 3 times.
For a person, okay.
We had no idea what was wrong with this person.
I'm exhausted already. So let's go back. So the person is slumped over the wheel, because we just discussed that the person was slumped over the wheel, car was in drive, foot was on the brake. And this officer was like, I'm gonna get out of the car and start cursing at the person, number one.
Off rip, okay, aggressive. And automatically I went from I called the police to help this person to why did I call the police?
Immediately.
And who wants to feel that way? Because then I started feeling like I did the wrong thing. But we know that calling 911 in case of an emergency is supposed to be the right thing.
That's the first thing, yeah.
And the person gets up, you know, they're shocked, they're looking around, they get out the car, and it was not a woman, it was a Latino man, and he could not speak English. And my heart sunk more. And, you know, they get out the car, and, like, we could actually tell that they were intoxicated. And 100%, you know, driving under the influence, it's illegal, it's not safe, it's extremely dangerous. But the first police car that came up in front of the vehicle did that for that purpose, because we don't know what's wrong with this person. We don't know when they wake up, you know, if their foot goes off the brake. Like, we didn't know. So at the time, there was no assessment of the situation to pull out your gun and yell and cuss at a person who you did not know before their door opened and they got out the vehicle was intoxicated. That was not information that you were privy to.
So
I know.
You're doing a great job, by the way. She's not doing a great job telling the story. It's terrifying. But I have a couple questions. Let's just roll it back. So, cop pulls a gun 3 times. What did he think he was doing? From ascertaining the situation, why do you think this officer drew his gun 3 times? 3 times is just a lot for me. Like, the 3 times pulling the gun, I'm just like, why?
Yeah, like, what were you so afraid of the passed out person? I don't know.
No, like, that's the question.
I would like to know. I inquired. They asked me to leave. The first time they asked me to leave, I was like, I'll stay. The 911 dispatch told me to stay until the police took a statement from me, and they never did. They just told me I could leave, but I stayed. I wasn't sure if this person was going to be safe. They couldn't speak English either.
And we know, we just saw in the community that, and we just talked about it, someone literally opened fire. An ICE officer opened fire in the middle of one of our streets, so not safe from an immigration standpoint either.
Yeah, and that was like all the things that I was thinking is like, I can't believe I don't call the police for any incident like involving, like, I believe that if I can communicate with someone, like, I can help, you know, alleviate the issue, solve the issue, come to an agreement. Like, I do not want to ever call the police. Yeah. But in this case, I was calling the ambulance, but the police have to come as well.
They do.
And the ambulance did say that they wanted to do a medical assessment, and the police questioned, is that necessary right now? Because I
to do a medical assessment of a person who's slumped over the steering wheel of a car.
Because you don't know what else.
Like, when you say it out loud.
information. My best friend is Peruvian, and I wanted to call him so bad, but I only had one phone. I was like, I needed to record. It's the worst recording ever as well because I was immersed in the situation. So by the second time they asked me to leave, I was like, I just want to make sure that this man is safe. I just want to make sure that this man is safe. I really just want him to be okay. And the cop who pulled out his gun said, do you think we're going to beat his ass on the side of the road?
Sir, you have a gun.
That you pulled out 3 times. And I said, sir, I was like, you pulled out your gun 3 times? That's scary. And I was like, and this man can't communicate. And they're like, well, that's what happens when you're drunk. But like,
what happens when you're drunk? Is you pull a gun out on you because you're drunk? That sounds crazy.
And like, to be like candid and transparent, this person was intoxicated. I don't think that their intention was to be unalived by a police officer.
No.
Because it's like, if they were going to, if they did press the gas, were you going to shoot at their vehicle?
And the other thing too, right, is that if somebody is drunk behind the wheel, they're obviously experiencing some kind of crisis.
Yes.
Whether that's a crisis of whatever, it doesn't really matter. They're experiencing crisis. To get that drunk and get behind the wheel, something's happening.
Something is wrong. And that made me think about what are alternative solutions to things like this. Obviously in that situation, like we're in traffic, there's cars going by, it could have ended, the circumstances could have been any and everything. But after that, I did walk away when, the police officer made his suggestions. And he did say, like, the guy's foot was on the, his car was in drive. And then he said, I'm not going to argue with you. I wasn't asking you to argue with me. I promise I wasn't. I was genuinely concerned for someone's safety. They couldn't even speak English. And you're yelling at them because they can't communicate with you. And it just, my background's in communications and public relations, and there were so many communication barriers in that instant.
So many communication, like, quandaries in that like issues too, because like cop pulling his gun 3 times doesn't foster any good communication. Person drunk doesn't speak the language behind the wheel of a vehicle. EMS is being questioned as to whether or not this is necessary right now to medically evaluate somebody who is clearly overly intoxicated, which obviously, yes. Why wouldn't you medically examine them? What if they're about to stroke out? I don't even know.
We wouldn't know. They could have alcohol poisoning. When
anything.
I learned, it was like a little TikTok video of a girl recapping a health class that she took, where they talk about when you pass out, it's because you are experiencing alcohol poisoning. Even if you wake back up, it's your body has to shut down everything
first
to be able to reset. And,
like literally a power down.
Yeah. Like literally. And 100%, like we should not drink and drive. Like, don't drink and drive. We've learned it forever. But we also don't know anything else that this person was going through. Alcoholism is a mental health issue.
Absolutely.
That, it's one of those things that it has a lot of stigmas with it. It's hard to, like when you think of someone who's has like a substance abuse problem, it's more so something that people like frown upon or look at a little differently. But we have to realize that everyone's going through something, and we don't know what those things are. And that experience with the police, I don't know this man's name.
But these are the kinds of instances that stop people from calling.
Yeah, I'm never gonna call the police again.
And that is the opposite, right? Like, and what's funny is, so there's a couple of contextual things. If you ask people in Harrisburg, Steelton, a lot of the surrounding areas, whether or not they want police, they'll be like, of course we want police. We want police right now. We want them to help when things are bad. What they don't want is police acting like this, right? Like this is the situation you're describing. So part of the social commentary that I wanted to like bring out tonight is, what do you do? This is not a big city. Harrisburg is 51 to 52,000 people on a good day. Steelton is 7,000 to 8,000 people on a good day. That's less than 60,000 people in this little region right here. How are people supposed to trust? I mean, we've been talking about this for years. How are people supposed to trust that police have their best interests at heart when we have situations like this
And that is the conversation that we come to when we talk about what does reform look like. What does it look like to always have, when you're seeing someone's passed out, yes, the EMS should be there, but maybe also have a mental health advocate that could be an in-between between the police officer and the person passed out behind the wheel, to be able to assess a situation. Maybe have someone that is multilingual, because Spanish is the biggest language. I
think it's like our second
language
region, in our region too.
Yeah, like it's very important to be able to, as a police officer, you need to communicate with the community that you're supposed to be protecting and serving.
I thought protect and serve was in the mottos of all of them. And the other thing too, like, I always bring this back to my experience with the police, because this kind of harsh treatment becomes kind of default. Part of it is because of the militarization of our police. We immediately treat residents and citizens like enemy combatants, which is bad. And the second thing that happens is racism and xenophobia. We see Black and brown people and we treat them like they don't belong or that they deserve the harshest treatment. And I don't know how I've been talking about this for years. I don't know how you reconcile it. No idea.
I don't know either. I ended up doing some research on the history of police, and you kind of see the origins of policing goes all the way back to slavery.
Well, don't tell that to Commissioner Carter. He has argued me down on social media about saying that slave patrols is what birthed police in this country, which that's historical fact. Right. But in the North, it came from the night patrols. So in Pennsylvania and other states north of the Mason-Dixon line, they were participating in basically making sure that workers did not unionize. And that is how we have that's how the PSP started in Pennsylvania. So.
Well, I don't think that we should be keeping people from unionizing.
Also no. Also no.
So yeah, it was one of those experiences that my daughter was in the back and she was very like, what's going on? My friend's daughter was in the back.
That's terrible. And in front of the kids.
Yeah, in front of the kids. They saw him do that. Yeah. Why would they trust the police?
So you're supposed to help, and you pull up on the scene, you're drawing your gun. Terrifying.
I was not calling because someone was assaulting me. I was not calling because of a robbery. Like, I thought that someone...
I've been in danger. You thought somebody needed help.
I thought someone needed help. And then I felt very unhelpful.
And I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys can tell me, internet, etc. What do you do? What has the community been doing? Right? What has the community been doing when faced with these things? I remember, he's not here anymore, Mark Hall, ABC 27, I think he was. He interviewed me after the cops were in my yard, Harrisburg Police, shout out to y'all. And he said, what would you have done differently, Kamika, knowing that this is how the night went down? I said, I would have gotten all my friends into my house and I would have locked the door and I would not have answered. He was like, oh, so you wouldn't? I was like, whatever you're about to say, no. I would have went into the house, locked the door, and not come out because interacting with the police was too much of a risk. It's too much of a risk.
It's a huge risk, and I felt very powerless in the moment as well. I remember saying, like, I'm very civically engaged, to the police officer. Like, this is not something that, like, I'm not just some person, like. You can kind of feel, I had a police incident when I was in college. I've actually had a few police incidences in college. Another one was with an intoxicated young man, and the police were dragging him by the handcuffs. Oh. The university police.
That's gotta be protocol.
I'm just and there's always, I had asked the EMS the same that I had asked the residential assistants, and I'm like, is this person going to be okay? Like, I'm scared for them. And they're like, they're just doing their jobs. You gotta stay calm. I do?
What does that even mean? I had to stay calm, not the guy with the gun. Right. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, first of all, thank you for telling us that story. Second of all, thank you for being an intermediary. And I know that's not why you're here. But thank you for being an intermediary for a person who could have hurt themselves, could have hurt other people, but still deserve to be treated like a human being. And not have a gun pulled on them 3 times because they were experiencing a crisis. Clearly, it was not a normal situation.
Literally, I think it's so hard for people to look at situations with understanding nuance that multiple things can be true at once. And as a police officer, and I
love this one.
Ins and outs of training.
I'm gonna stop you real fast. Kevin Black says, the same way we have police officers, we need emergency therapists who can de-escalate crisis situations and prioritize mental health. It's called the Mobile Crisis Team. It's time PA puts that in the budget.
Shout out to Kevin Black.
Shout out to Kevin Black. Thank you, Kevin.
Kevin's my best friend from Peru who I wanted to call.
Yeah, Kevin. Oh, hi, Kevin. How you doing? But Kevin raises a good point. I mean, shout out to George Hartwig. And this is not that. It's not flattering for no reason. But shout out to George Hartwig, who has made it his mission to make sure that mental health in this county is addressed, and that people do have these things, especially at least with our county sheriffs and the county departments that they have purview over. And I'm hoping that the Harrisburg Police Department continues, because they did start at some point having mental health personnel do ride-alongs. But if you have a situation where somebody is intoxicated and may or may not hurt someone and all this stuff, I don't think the gun is the tool, is what I want to say about that. I don't think the gun is the tool.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They could have used the taser if the other person was going to run.
That's
but
right.
In my brain, you're pulling out the gun. Is it to shoot through the window? Is it to shoot? What and why are you shooting? If there is the process of like what that means, and when I think about like looking at a situation strategically, I don't know what's the ins and outs of police training. It's like you need to assess a situation.
Yeah.
And the assessment as a police officer, if you are working your shift and like you're always on defense, why are you doing this job?
You might need a cool down period though. Like if you're always on defense, what are you doing to decompress? Because you can't be coming out here on defense and offense at the same time for every call.
Yeah.
Guns drawn immediately.
Yeah, I was just very, very, I was shocked. I don't have a lot of experiences. I don't call the police to have to, talk to them and be around them. I don't spend a lot of time with the police.
On purpose, because
on purpose.
Because
yeah, and I don't want to be scared of them. I don't.
We have one more comment from your friend Kevin
Yes.
Black. We need Jazz as a recurring guest, and I agree. I agree.
Thank you, Kevin.
I agree with that. So thank you for telling the story, and also again, thank you for being an intermediary. We don't have people who can safely observe situations like that. If you weren't there to see that the cop had pulled out his gun, I'm interested to see what the police report says,
right,
about what happened, because you were there and you were a witness and you saw this gun pull out.
And they did not take a statement from me. I only have my 911.
I am so glad you said that, because they should have taken a statement from you, because you're the person who called the police.
Yes, and 911 told me to stay until they spoke with me, and they did not speak to me.
So all kinds of things
I was
being
not
disrupted
addressed.
there. All kinds of things not being followed because you're the person who called the police. I'm sorry. Harrisburg, you need to make sure that you're following up on things like this. We don't know the man, we don't know what happened, but we had a witness at a scene of an issue, and the cops did not take that statement. Who's going to city council? Who's going to talk about this issue? Because we need to talk about things like this. We need to talk about that. These are the kind of things we can do to bring attention to our city government. This is Harrisburg Police.
Yes.
So these are things we can do to bring attention. Just like the first episode of this show. This is why it's so important to me. And we're in August. So I think we had our first show in July. Yep. The very first episode of this show 6 years ago, we were talking about the police on this show in a July-August episode. So it's important to me that we keep that pressure up and we keep talking about what our police who are supposed to protect and serve should be doing for us. And Harrisburg Police Department, shout out to y'all, do better.
All the police in the whole America.
All of them.
All of them.
We're hearing stories this week about police who have done various things. I mean, people have been bringing up different issues with police all over the country in the last however long. I mean, every time, it's 0 days without police nonsense, so obviously. But we're hearing stories like this are on the rise. You know, we've seen the lynchings across the country. So we have police investigating like regular ass people doing regular ass shit. And then lynchings are like, well, that person committed suicide. We have a problem. A little tiny bit. A little tiny bit. So, and again, I'm not saying the person being drunk shouldn't be handled.
But the due process.
That's the part. The pulling out the gun 3 times is the part. So,
yes.
Thank you, Jazz.
Thank you.
Thank you for telling us this story.
Thank you. Can I share with the last guest that we had?
Yes.
It made me think about when you had asked, like, what does someone who doesn't want to vote and they say, like, God's got it.
Correct.
I want to say that faith without works is dead.
Amen.
Nothing gets done unless the work is getting done. It is my favorite scripture as well because like things don't just fall on your head. When we're talking about blessings and what God does in our lives, it's because we are doing the work. It is the work that we're doing in our families, in our communities. It literally, when the man in the mirror is literally the truth. Like, it really starts with you and the work that you're doing.
Sorry.
I gotta be the best me that I can be.
100%.
So that it can trickle to the people around me, the people in my community, and then
it's not a trickle, it's a compound. So like when you are a good person and you are a good person to somebody else, that's, to me, spreads faster than evil. It spreads faster than anything else. Again, being a lookout for that man who was experiencing a very difficult time is important. Even if you felt like you didn't do enough, because that is a bystander thing, right? Onlooker thing. I should have done more. The fact that you stayed and tried to advocate for him, that's important. I'm hoping all of our folks can do that. I'm hoping all of our neighbors can be that for each other, especially in this time, especially when you have ICE shooting the street, when you have cops pulling guns on clearly inebriated people who need help. Like, that's what we need to be doing.
I can't mind my own business. Minding your own business gets people.
Yeah, we can't do that anymore.
In trouble.
I do my own business, but your business is my business. That's what I like to say. You are my business, so I am minding my business. Because the community is our business.
Yes.
Thank you, Jazz. I appreciate you. It's my pleasure. We'll be right back with a lap. I know we took a long time for that conversation, but it was important. So we'll be right back with last lap. See you in a sec. Woo!
La Tiendita is Harrisburg's premier store for everything Ecuador. In this store, you will find a variety of cultural and traditional products and ingredients like chocolate that you can't find anywhere else in Harrisburg. La Tiendita also ships packages directly to Ecuador. If you have any family or friend, you can also do a direct money wire transfer to their bank account in Ecuador. La Tiendita is open every morning at 8:30 a.m. and you can find them at 3126 Sycamore Street, right here in Harrisburg.
I just want to say, we're back for last lap. You can clap. And I just want to say thank you for coming. Shout out to Changing the Conversation Together for Tamish and Adam for being here. Shout out to Jazmin for telling her story. Shout out to me for continuing to exist in the world. Lord have mercy. It's been rough. And shout out to the crew here at Capital City Music Hall. Thank you all for everything that you do for my little tiny show. I appreciate y'all. And I want to say something that, thank you, Gib, because Gib be clapping, okay? And I want to say, you know, from celebrating 10 years of YPOC and demanding pedestrian safety on Front Street, to holding our elected officials accountable, Scott Perry, to doing the work to reach our neighbors and friends in this region. All of it's important. All of it's something that you should be proud to be a part of. And join us if you feel like you need community. YPOC is here for you. Join us at Topics Tuesday. Join us on Thursday for Happy Hour at Madame Rochelle's Apothecary. Support Black-owned businesses. It's important that you do even in this time. They're up against a lot. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the state of Pennsylvania has scrubbed DEI and historically disadvantaged businesses from a lot of different things. Black and brown businesses, so, minority-owned businesses from a lot of things. So be aware that your support means the world for Black and brown businesses right now. And I'm Dr. Kamika Campbell. Thank you for joining the Black News Beat. As I always say, love on yourself, clap for yourselves. You are the beloved community. You're the ones that make this show possible. You're the ones that make everything that we do at YPOC possible. Hi, Daniel. One of my good friends just walked in. And I just want to say to y'all that we will be back here at Capital City Music Hall for the third and last Wednesdays of the month. So just look out for that. We'll be back here in September and October. Wow, carry the one. Is it already September? Yeah, it's happening. So we'll be back here again. Shout out to Gib and Cultivating Chaos.
Yes, ma'am.
For Gib's kind of stuck with me, so he didn't really adopt the show. But adopting the show along with F Live and Bar PG and Dionysium, which we'll be doing some of those shows here as well. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next month.